Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane. And before we get into the video, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who's taken the time to watch, comment, and like the video. And a special thank you to those who subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. For those of you who are into dividend growth investing, dividends, everything around the dividend investing community, that's what we do here. And if you are into that kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the Vested Interest community, trying to build a community of like-minded dividend growth investors so we can share our experiences, stocks we're watching, stocks we have in our portfolio, stocks we're concerned with, and help each other find some value in this market. We are back today for another Stock Pick of the Day video in our Stock Pick of the Day series, and we are going to take a look at Gladstone Investment. This one was requested by one of the subscribers to the channel. I'm a little familiar with this. They have a couple other companies that are very similar under the Gladstone name. But let's take a look at Gladstone Investments. And this I've been sharing with you. This is my investing criteria whenever I'm looking at a new stock to add to my portfolio or reviewing the stocks in my portfolio. This is the criteria I use. Go ahead and pause it if you want to read through this. I want 4 of the top 7. If it's not a financial company with financials, I add an extra one here, price to book. And you can use that one for all of them really, but it's very important for financials to take a look at price to book. So if it's a financial company, 5 of the 8. Back to Gladstone Investment. If you want to know more about them, check them out. www.gladstoneinvestment.com. That's GladstoneInvestment.com. GladstoneInvestment.com. That is their homepage where I pulled this information from. Founded in 2005, Gladstone Investment Corporation, ticker GAIN, G-A-I-N, is a private equity fund focused on acquiring mature middle market companies with attractive fundamentals and strong management teams. As a publicly traded business development company, GAIN provides both equity and debt capital, which greatly increases certainty and speed of closing, as well as provides GAIN shareholders with both current yield in the form of monthly dividends and potential capital gains upside. And that is right. I believe all of their companies under their umbrella pay monthly dividends. I used to have one called Good. That was Gladstone Commercial Corp. Definitely pays a monthly dividend. And very similar company here to Main, if you guys are familiar with Main Street Capital, where they basically provide, investment capital to middle market companies here. So that's similar company here to Gladstone Investments. Now, the reason we're taking a look at them, Gladstone Investment Corporation's ticker GAIN, down on the day 2.31%, closed out the day at $13.56 per share, 52-week range as low as $11.40, as high as $16.08. So it's really floating in the middle between the 52-week low and the 52-week high. Average volume is 121,000. Today's volume is 267. You can clearly see that sell-off throughout the day, right? Pretty much a nice slope down, right? If you were to jump on the top and write it down like a slide, you'd end up down here at this 1356. A market cap of 453.657 million. So they are a small cap company. A beta of 1.42, so they are more volatile than the overall market. PE ratio is sitting at $9.48. Price to earnings there, 9.48. So that's nice. EPS, earnings per share, is sitting at $1.43, decent. Earnings date, the next one is coming up May 10th. So here next, not this Friday, but next Friday, I believe that is, or next week sometime anyway. I know that'd be like next Wednesday, somewhere in there. And forward dividend is 96 cents. That's divided by 12, because again, they do pay out every month. And dividend yield here says that the dividend yield is currently sitting at 6.92%. That's a very high dividend yield. All right, so high dividend payer here with a big sell-off from the day. Ex-dividend date, the next one will be May 22nd, so towards the end of this month. And one-year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, where I pulled this information from, $14.20. Now, I always tell you, you want to get in here and look at more information, look at their financials, look at their statistics, look and see if their revenue is growing. Are they paying down debt? Are their assets more than their liabilities? All that information, statistics. One I like to look at for statistics is what we call dividend yield theory. And it basically says if the current dividend yield is higher than the 5-year or 10-year average, then it may be undervalued. If it is lower than the 5 or 10-year average, then it may be overvalued. So if you go over here, if you were to click on this, you could find this down at the bottom of the page. Under dividends and splits, you'd look at the 5-year dividend average sitting at 6.91. You'd compare it to the current, or what they call the forward right there, 6.92, and it's almost a wash. So this would tell me that this particular company right now is pretty much sitting right at fair value, at least according to dividend yield theory. Maybe slightly undervalued because this is 6.92, slightly higher than the 6.91 5-year average. Payout ratio, I got a little bit of conflicting numbers on this one. This here from Yahoo Finance says 63.99% payout ratio. We'll see a different number here in a minute. Last ex-dividend, June 30th, they paid out, or ex-dividend was May 22nd. They paid out June 30th. So again, they'll pay out every month. So really want to buy them at the beginning of the month, a day before the ex-dividend date to be in line for the next dividend. And another one, if you go into financials, you want to take a look at the free cash flow. Make sure it is growing over time. That is what the dividend is paid out of. You can see here in 2020, $35,309. Down in 2021, looks like they might have had a rough year or had some charge-offs, some write-offs there. Might have sold some companies or paid off some debt and charged that down, or had some capital expenditures or something here. But negative free cash flow, that's not what you want to see. But then back up to $36,599 in 2022. Looks like to date might be down a little bit. So maybe you might want to go back and look at future years to see if this is maybe a trend. Are they up one year, down the next, up one year? But overall, from 2020 to 2022, they were up slightly. So that's good to see. And I did look at price to book. Current price to book was sitting at 0.99. So it's just under price to book if you use this kind of, because they do fund, and I should have thrown that in, but they do fund small businesses. So you could look at them kind of the same way as a investment capital or a bank loaning out their funds. So that price to book probably does apply here. And like I said, 0.99 would be right under the one that you're looking for. Now, the previous slide was all from Yahoo Finance. I always recommend more than one site. So another one I like is Stock Analyst, just so you can make sure the information that you are getting is accurate. Not affiliated with either, just two sites that I like to look at, right? And they, according to the one analyst that have looked at this, so they do not have a whole lot of analysts that have taken a look at this, but that's all right. They do call it a strong buy. The one gentleman or lady who's taken a look at this does call it a strong buy. Right? They have a low estimate of $14. It currently sits right under that low estimate. So if it came back up to their low estimate, that would be a 3.24% increase in the stock price. Average target price of $14 would be looks like their low and their average are the same. That's kind of weird that they've got all this. I've never seen all the averages be exactly the same. Low, average, median, and high all sitting right at $14. So they have a pretty high conviction here, at least the one person does, on $14 target rate. So it speaks to some potential upside in the stock price. And what we saw previously on Yahoo Finance also was around this $14. So there's potential upside here. But mostly for something like this, you're really looking for this as a cash play, right? Some free cash flow coming into your portfolio. Another one that I like to look at here under statistics, ROE, return on equity, and ROIC, return on invested capital. I like 10% or higher or in line with their market average, right? So return on equity is above that 10%, 10.7%. That's nice. Return on invested capital, a little lower, 6.3, but again, that's probably pretty close. You'd want to compare this to, again, something like Main Street Capital, see what theirs is. Maybe it's in line with that. A little lower than I like to see, but it might be all right for what this company is. Again, they provide investment capital to businesses. That's what they do. And a lot of businesses that can't get money from a bank because they're not large enough or they're too small, they would go to a company like this for their funding. That's the idea here. And then this is where I typically show you if I have any position in the company. I do not on this one, but we wanted to look at the ex-dividend dates and the dividends paid out. You can clearly see they do pay out monthly. They also, looks like they pay out some special dividends, right? June, they paid out twice. So I'm assuming this 0.075 would be the regular payout. This 12 cents would be a special dividend. And 0.8, again, another 12 cents, that would be a special dividend. 0.08 cents would be the regular, 0.08, and then in March, same thing, paid out 0.08 cents and 24 cent special dividend. So they not only pay out monthly, but they also kick in some special dividends along the way. Definitely one for someone who's looking for cash flow, right? And this is what I was talking about. The payout ratios were conflicting on Yahoo Finance. I saw around 69. Here we're saying a payout ratio of 89. Again, not as important for a company like this. I think there's some rules for these type of companies. They have to pay out around 90% of their payout, which is probably why they're hitting these special dividends along the way, so they can make sure that they comply with whatever legal efforts they have. But the real nice thing to see here is dividend growth is 20.51%. Now, this is another one you might want to watch a little bit, because if you look They did raise it from 0.75 to 0.08 back in November. It's been 0.8 cents since then, right? So it looks like they do grow it over time, but these special dividends along the way may be impacting that dividend growth as well. So you want to look at that a little bit. It might not be quite as high as that 20 cents, but if they're going to continue to pay special dividends, then that probably is pretty accurate. You just want to make sure to take that into account here. Looks like one for someone who might be interested in not a lot of price appreciation or appreciation in the stock price, but looking for free cash flow. This might be one to add to your watch list. And like I said, they do have other companies under their umbrella that are very similar. Gladstone Capital, GLAD is one. One I used to have was Good, Gladstone Commercial Corp, right? GOOD. So this company has some sister companies or other companies under their umbrella that are similar. I believe they all pay out monthly. So might be one to add to the watch list. Take a look at for those who are interested in free cash flow. Well, that is GAIN. Let me know what you think of GAIN in the comment section down below. As always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Join me on this journey to financial freedom. Hopefully you're on your own journey as well. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. What do you think of GAIN? Or do you have one of their other sister companies in your portfolio, GLAD or Good? Let me know what you think of those as well. Or do you like other companies more? Like I said, Maine, I think, is one that's very similar. I know that one's a popular one out there that pays monthly as well. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. Like this one was suggested by a subscriber. So if you have any that you'd like me to review in the Stock Pick of the Day series, go ahead and drop them down below. And constructive criticism is welcome as well. I'll take it with a big grain of salt. This is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm always sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk against money. Should never invest any amount not comfortable losing. Always do your own research, invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice and counsel of a certified financial advisor.